So we are now recording. All right. And good afternoon, travel advisors. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm very excited about today's webinar because we're going to be talking about my favorite thing to do when you're in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that's sailing. It is definitely a different experience to see the destination by water versus by land. Both are fabulous, but really, really a great opportunity to take in the Caribbean by water. So I have two of my esteemed colleagues here with me from Ocean Getaways. I have Miss Trish Cronin. She's the president of the company.
Everybody.
And then her colleague, Miss Susanna Dean. I said it right.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
So we see you guys are coming in. So I'm so glad to see a lot of you have made it in from all over. We've got folks from California, New Jersey, Texas. So it's going to be a really good cross section of people joining us today. Just to give you a few housekeeping notes as we're waiting for more of your colleagues to come in. If you guys have questions about anything you hear or see on today's webinar, while we're here, just go ahead and type them in the chat or in the Q&A. We'll be happy to answer them. We've had a really, really large response to today's webinar. So if we don't get to everybody's question, no worries. Just make sure you reach out to myself or Trish or Susanna, and we'd be happy, more than happy to answer your questions in a follow-up in an email. So no worries with any of that. So with that being said, I welcome you all again to the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Tourism webinar featuring Ocean Getaways today. We are recording. So again, I know I always get asked about if we're going to record it. Yes, this is going to be a recorded session, so you can refer back to it later on, again, if you have additional questions about the USVI. So welcome, everybody. So getting into the U.S. Virgin Islands and what we have to offer, definitely want to make sure I share with you guys a new promotion that we are running for the destination. And it kind of coincides with being on the water. It's called Naturally in Rhythm. So please take a look.
Our heartbeat is the rhythm of life, and
Nowhere else
no-
is it felt quite like here.
nowhere
You can
else
sense it in the tempo of the tides and breezes,
is it felt
and
quite
in
like
the
here.
artistic expressions of our people. For ours are no ordinary Caribbean islands, and yours no ordinary
You
Caribbean
can sense it in the
vacation in
tempo
the
of
U.S.
the
Virgin
tides
Islands,
and
naturally in rhythm.
So hopefully that kind of gave you a little bit of a taste of what your clients can experience when they come down to the U.S. Virgin Islands. So we'll open with just some beginner basic things about the destination, because I know even though most of you are familiar with us, maybe not everyone is as familiar as they'd like to be about the U.S. Virgin Islands. So as you can see from the map, we are very close in proximity to the mainland. We are comprised primarily of three principal islands: St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John. And then we like to think of Water Island as the fourth U.S. Virgin Island. It's very, very easy for your clients to be able to experience all four of these islands when they're in the USVI, as they're all very, very close together in proximity. So St. Thomas and St. John, and Water Island for that matter, are the closest together. St. Thomas and Water Island is just a short 5-minute ferry. And then St. Thomas and St. John, you just have a short 15-minute ferry to get back and forth. A lot of people will stay in St. Thomas and go back and forth between St. John because you want to go over and check out some of those beautiful beaches and some restaurants and hiking over in St. John, and just go back and forth and vice versa. So it's very, very easy to do that. St. Thomas, St. Croix, a little further apart, as you can see there on the map. One of the best ways to get over is by seaplane. It's a 20-minute seaplane ride between those two islands. Great sights and views on takeoff and landing when you do the seaplane. But it's very easy, again, to island hop and get in between the three islands. It's very, very easy. For your clients that are U.S. citizens do not need a passport to travel to the U.S. Virgin Islands. So it makes traveling to us extremely convenient. It really was convenient during the pandemic for a lot of clients who wanted to go someplace. And we still have a lot of requests for people who feel more comfortable traveling to a destination that doesn't require a passport. So automatically think of the U.S. Virgin Islands when you get those requests. And we're only 2.5 hours away from Miami, 3.5 from Atlanta and JFK. So it makes traveling to us really, really easy. We also have really, really good airlift into the USVI. St. Croix and St. Thomas are going to be your two islands that have an airport. St. John does not. It's too small to have an airport. But we do have nonstop flights out of Atlanta, Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami into St. Croix. And then St. Thomas, you have a lot more options available. So you have New York, Newark, Houston, Miami, Atlanta, Boston. So a lot of different options to get your clients into St. Thomas. So as I mentioned, each island is very different. Each one has its own individual personality. St. Thomas is home to the capital of the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is Charlotte Amalia. So let's take a look and see what that island has to offer to your clients.
St. Thomas is known for many things.
Its picturesque harbor,
Its picturesque harbor,
and exciting adventures.
From wildlife encounters to beautiful vistas. This bustling cosmopolitan island is filled with wonder. Experience it all in the next 60 seconds.
Kick off your visit with a stroll around Emancipation Garden, and then take a sky ride up to Paradise Point for the best view of Charlotte Amalia Harbor. While you're up there, enjoy the USVI's original over at the Botanical Garden. Now on to see what's cooking in the street. Freco, pate, Johnny cakes. These authentic island eats are some of St. Thomas's best treats. Take a walk through history and discover hidden treasures of the deep blue sea. Or walk on the sand floors of one of the oldest synagogues in the world. Stroll down the breathtaking Megan's Bay Beach, or dare to take on some excitement, like swimming with dolphins in this dolphin sea sanctuary. Soar in the sky with a helicopter ride for a bird's eye view of this stunning island. Enjoy this hilltop view while sipping a classic Cruzan rum cocktail with some locally caught seafood. It's no surprise that people call this tropical wonderland a top destination in the Caribbean.
So I saw your comments about feedback. I think what it was getting feedback from my other two presenters. So Trish and Susanna, I muted your mics. You don't have to do anything. I can unmute them on my end when it's time for you to go. So yes, I know that worked. Fabulous. Great. So back to the presentation. So when looking at St. Thomas, the young lady went through all the fabulous things there are to do there. Great shopping, great adventure, hiking. You also have great zip lining, dining options in St. Thomas as well. I'd like to think of St. Thomas as kind of the gateway island to all of the U.S. Virgin Islands, because that's the island where you're going to have your highest concentration of things to do, dining options, hotel options, just lots and lots of things. And then, of course, Charlotte Amalia is where most of your clients will be flying into in order to begin their charter sail vacation in the USVI. So always kind of keep in mind that if you have clients who kind of like to do a lot and like a lot of hustle and bustle and like to kind of mix it up on their vacation experience, they may find that St. Thomas is a perfect fit for them. So I mentioned St. John, and I mentioned that it's too small for an airport. It's only 19 square miles. So it is the smallest of the 3 U.S. Virgin Islands and really, really still offers quite a bit for your clients to enjoy.
Although it's the smallest of the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. John is big in its natural beauty. So much so that Lawrence Rockefeller found it necessary to protect the island's lush forest, cultural artifacts, and amazing beaches. Witness it all in the next 60 seconds. Many people escape to St. John to witness the colorful scenery, explore its beauty, and relax. Their waterfront cottages and hillside villas offer pure tranquility, along with some of the best restaurants in Cruz Bay, creating a very distinct food scene. Tuck your toes in the dazzling white sand of these spectacular beaches and delve into the secret underworld to discover hidden sea creatures. Take a stroll around the world-famous Mongoose Junction, and explore their quaint galleries and shops offering everything from cool art, clothing, and yummy desserts. A premier place for nature lovers, St. John is the perfect haven for an outdoor adventure through these subtropic forests and steep slopes. Hit the beach for some games and live music, then onto the local bars for some nightlife fun. Now let's get going. The Love City awaits you.
So we like to call St. John Love City because there's a lot of love that you can have in St. John. As the young lady mentioned, the national park is really one of the biggest draws to St. John. It is an absolutely stunningly beautiful island, with it only being 19 square miles. 2/3 of it is a national park. The beaches in the park are also protected. So these are going to be some of the most beautiful, pristine, cleanest beaches in the world on the island of St. John. What most people like to do there is either go hiking or be a beach bum. And there are plenty of beaches to choose from on St. John to just kind of hang out and chill. And each one just more stunning and more beautiful than the other. My favorite is Honeymoon Beach. It is an absolutely beautiful beach. So if you have clients who are interested in just kind of taking in the beauty and just kind of disconnecting, St. John is definitely an island to suggest to your clients. So moving on to St. Croix, as I mentioned, she is the largest of the 3 U.S. Virgin Islands. I like to refer to her as our cultural bearer. You'll find a lot of history, great dining, great rich culture in St. Croix as well, along with all of the beauty and the wonder that St. Thomas and St. John are both known for. So let's take a look.
When flying into St. Croix, be sure to grab a window seat. If there's one color that defines the Caribbean, it's blue. And the blue of St. Croix is simply incomparable. From pristine beaches to historic gems preserved for decades. But don't be fooled. There's plenty more to see and do on this island than just the beach. Experience it all in the next 60 seconds.
Here on this U.S. Virgin Island, one of the best places to rise with the sun is at Point Udall, not too far from some of St. Croix's most unique and scenic hotels. Start your day off with an adventurous ride to witness breathtaking scenery, and then head to the famous Buck Island to enjoy this crystal blue sea. Now this is island life. But what would island life be without food? While here on St. Croix, stop by the farmer's market for some fresh produce and be sure to swing by Cast Iron Pot or Lorraine's Chicken Shack and eat your heart out. From fine dining to local Caribbean desserts, if it's one thing St. Croix has plenty of, it's certainly authentic Caribbean cuisine. Spend the rest of your afternoon getting your history fix at Fort Christian Vern, or watching special performances by local quadrille dancers or the Moco Jumpies. And kick off the perfect island night watching the sunset with a special craft cocktail from some of the island's best bars and lounges. So, what are you waiting for? It's time to take on St. Croix and feel a vibe like no other.
So hopefully from that video, you could kind of sense that St. Croix does have a great cross-section of activities and things to keep your clients entertained and a lot of cultural aspects to the destination as well. One of the things not mentioned on the video are the golf courses that we have in the USVI, and those 2 courses are located on St. Croix. One is a Robert Trent Jones golf course, and the other one is an 18-hole championship golf course. So if your clients are looking to golf, that's the island you want to definitely recommend to them in St. Croix. And even though I'm a St. Thomas girl at heart, I will love St. Thomas, born in St. Thomas, but the food in St. Croix is phenomenal. Definitely make sure you are prepared to bring back at least another 5 to 10 pounds in your waist when you come from St. Croix. I see somebody already mentioned here about the dairy in Magens Bay, near Magens Bay, but that's in St. Thomas. But somebody here is also mentioning Mutiny Island vodka. Some of the best vodka is distilled from breadfruit. So we have unique and different things to get your clients interested in Caribbean life and what the destination of the U.S. Virgin Islands has to offer. So We're focusing on sailing for today's presentation. So I want to kind of get into a little bit of what the USVI has to offer. And then Trish and Susanna are really going to give you some really good details about doing a charter yacht vacation in the USVI. So when you think about sailing in the USVI, it is just something that should evoke a lot of feelings of beauty and romance and passion and adventure. There's so much that you can put into your vacation when you look at doing a crude yacht vacation in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We have hundreds of uninhabited keys all throughout the USVI, all waiting for you to discover them and explore them. Each one just more stunning and beautiful than the other. So there's so much to see when, especially if you're doing a 7-night vacation experience, sailing vacation experience in the USVI. You just really wouldn't want to miss out on any of the good activities. The beautiful water, the water toys, the diving, the snorkeling. It's just such a just overall wonderful experience for your clients, their families to experience when they're in the USVI. So for those of you who don't know, USVI has quite a few marinas on all 3 U.S. Virgin Islands. This one here is the IGY Yacht Haven Grand Marina. This is where a lot of the beautiful luxury vessels are, and a lot of your vacations would originate from this marina. I'm sure Trish will talk to you more about the whole process step by step of where you would actually get on your vessel. But the Yacht Haven Grand Marina is kind of a twofold type of experience because the marina is there, but you also have great dining here, great shopping here as well. So a lot of good nightlife and entertainment at the Yacht Haven Grand Marina. So you have a lot of different options in terms of enjoying your vacation experience in the USVI. We also have the American Yacht Harbor, which is on the other side of the island, on the east end, probably better known as, to most of you who are familiar, as Red Hook. So Red Hook, again, a great marina. It's also an IGY marina, but again, great shopping and dining, great dining in Red Hook. If you want to just come off and just hang out and meet new people, meet some locals, meet other boaters like yourself, it's a great marina to kind of hang out and get to know who's around and what's around. We also have the Crown Bay Marina, also in town in Charlotte Amalia in St. Thomas. So again, just a lot of different marinas, and this is just a snippet of the marina offerings in St. Thomas. The Green Key Marina, this one is in St. Croix. Again, a lot of your excursions, if you're doing a crude yacht vacation, that's going to be just focused on St. Croix. This is one of the possible marinas that you'll be looking at for your vacation to begin. Salt River Marina as well is also a great mooring in St. Croix. So again, just lots of beautiful marinas to take in when you're in the USVI. So the mooring spaces that are available, these are great spaces for you to kind of anchor and enjoy the destination. All 3 USVIs will have different mooring sites all around. This one here is Cruise Bay, which is in St. John. You can see the boats already kind of hanging out there. Again, another great spot to be, because as you go in, you'll find that there's lots of great dining, great shopping as well, great music, open air bars, live entertainment. It's just a really great atmosphere, especially for folks who kind of want to fellowship with other boaters and mix it up with local people alike. Maho Bay is another great mooring spot in St. John. Great sea turtles. So if you want to go out and do some snorkeling, this is a really popular spot with a lot of people to go out and check out the sea turtles. Of course, Trunk Bay in the national park is another great spot as well. You'll see manta rays out here, sea turtles, all kind of fun marine life when you just kind of spend your time hanging out at Trunk Bay in St. John. Buck Island was mentioned in the video. This is another great spot as well. It's an underwater U.S. national monument. The beach is absolutely stunning, perfect soft white sand. I love to do my little sand scrubs there on the beach at Buck Island. But the snorkeling and the diving, again, phenomenal. The reef is in really, really good condition. You'll see manta rays, you'll see octopus, lobster. It's just absolutely wonderful to spend some time out at Buck Island. And then Frederickstead as well is another great area to do some mooring. Great diving off of the pier here in Frederickstead. So you have a lot of different options to enjoy all of the beautiful marine life in the USVI. Hull Bay is another great one in St. Thomas. And then, of course, the famous Charlotte Amalia Harbor. As a kid, this harbor stayed full with vessels all throughout the harbor. And it's just a favorite spot for a lot of boaters. And it's a beautiful sight to see, even from land as you're driving by or walking by all of the yachts in the harbor. So they're just, you're surrounded everywhere you go in the USVI with our marine product. I mentioned Water Island. So this is also a really, really famous, popular mooring spot for a lot of boaters. Dinghies is a great bar right there on the beach. Live music. I want to say really one of the best meals I've had in a long time right there on Water Island. And the beach is really fabulous. And one of the great things about our beaches is they're very swimmable. Very shallow as you walk out. So you can really wade deep, deep, deep out into the water and just hang out and just, have a cocktail and talk with your friends and just enjoy being out in the water. And then, of course, I mentioned some of those cays all around the USVI. Trish and I were just talking about the time we spent in between Livongo and Congo. So these are those two little islands here. It is not uninhabited. Livongo does have a resort on it and some family homes, but it is an absolutely beautiful spot to just stop and just take in the beauty of the destination. And as I was telling Trish earlier, even though being from the U.S. Virgin Islands, you're familiar with a lot of things, but every time you go, you see it with a different pair of eyes. And these little uninhabited islands are just absolutely stunning. And the experience that you have, you keep with you forever. So definitely is the type of vacation experience you want to make sure your clients know about, because it will definitely have them coming back to you again to book again and again and again. So just me chatting it up doesn't really kind of tell you everything that your clients will really experience when they have their own vacation experience on the water. Oh, I thought I had my video here, but it didn't queue up. So I'll have to save that for another time. I'm sorry, guys. I thought my video was there, but it's not. Let's go into some other things that your clients can enjoy while they're out on the water. So I oftentimes have people ask me about two specific places. One of them is pizza pie. So let's say you're out on your boat and you're like, I just want a pizza. Can I just get a pizza? Yes, you can. Pizza Pie can deliver a pizza to you right to your boat, and you guys can enjoy your pizza while you're hanging out and enjoying the beauty of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And then, of course, the really most popular spot that people always want to know about is Lime Out. So Lime Out is our floating taco bar. Yes, there is a floating taco bar in the U.S. Virgin Islands. As you can see, you can hop off, have your tacos, hang out, chill out, have a margarita, and enjoy your time eating your tacos, meeting up with new people, and relaxing and enjoying the beauty of the U.S. Virgin Islands. So a couple of things I want to make sure I do share with you that you know about. We do have a lot of boating events in the USVI. I listed a couple of these regattas. We also have lots of great poker runs as well in the USVI. So again, just great activities out on the water that you can either observe or, get into it yourself if that's something that you're interested in. On land, lots of great activities as well in the USVI. Our big festival is coming up in St. Thomas, our 2023 Carnival, and the schedule is out. What better place would you have than being in the harbor after you have had your long day of partying and going to the parade and enjoying all the food and the fun of Carnival, and then you can go out on your boat and just chill out and listen to the music as it's playing and watch everybody having a good time from your perfect vantage point on the water. So Carnival is always a fun time. It's a great cultural immersion for your clients. So if your clients are looking to do something in the month of April, that last week of April is where you're going to have all of those great activities for your clients to enjoy when they're in St. Thomas. Lastly, I want to make sure you have the information on becoming a U.S. Virgin Islands specialist. We love to educate you guys on the destination. We have 3 different disciplines. We have general leisure, romance, and then we also have multi-generational. So if any of those are your specialties, the course is not very long. It won't take you long to complete 1, 2, or all 3. So please make sure you check us out in Travel Agent University for that. And for those of you who do quite a few bookings to the USVI, or if you just have a few right now, we do have a rewards program that's, again, perfect for you to start earning some rewards for those bookings. Of course, our ultimate reward is a spot on one of our coveted fam trips where we take you to all 3 U.S. Virgin Islands. Sometimes we can squeeze in Water Island. I did on my last trip, so you'll have an opportunity possibly to see 4 U.S. Virgins while you're in the USVI, or maybe even hang out at Lavongo and Congo. Well, we're just putting it out there. So just go to usvirewards.com, and then you can register all of your bookings there. And then we have a lot of other really great prizes that I have posted here as well. So definitely take advantage of that. Here's some great useful links for you. So if you are interested in following us on social media, getting some of those videos, they're all available on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, our specialist program is listed there. And then thank you guys so much. I oftentimes post quite a bit on my Facebook page. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, Kay Kitchens DOS USVI is where you'll find me. And then here's my email as well. I'll put this information in the chat too, so that way you guys can have it. And so if you need to get in touch with me about anything, you can always find me there. So Susanna and Trish, I have turned your mics back on, and the floor is now yours.
Okay, let me just get myself going here. All right. So I'm Trish Cronin. As Kay mentioned, I'm the founder and president of Ocean Getaways. And I have here with me today our charter specialist who's located in the Virgin Islands, Susanna Dehan. And let's
Uh-oh, Trish, you're stuck. If you want to refresh your screen, or Susanna, you can always step in if you need to here.
Yeah, let's just see.
Let me type in here. She's frozen. But if you want to start on the presentation, I think that would be good, Susanna. And then when she comes back in, you can hand it back over to her.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo on my side. Do you know how I can fix that?
Let's see. All right, I just muted Trisha's mic. Is that better?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So I don't have any control of the slide now.
Okay, hold on. Should allow me to. Well, how about we do this? We'll start from the beginning. Yeah. And then I'll control your slides.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can just stay here.
Okay.
So Trish was just introducing both of us. Trish and her husband, Brad, started Ocean Getaways 40 years ago. And I've been lucky enough to join the team last year. Trish and Brad were yacht crew back before they started the company. And I've been yacht crew myself for 8 years, so we really know what we're talking about, to say the least. Trish and Brad are located up in Fort Myers, and I am here, as we like to say, the flip-flops on the ground. So yeah, moving on, Trish just won some awards just before Christmas and in January. So we're very proud of Trish, and it really just shows the knowledge that she has in this industry, and that if you book with us, that you're in really safe hands. So just to talk a little bit about the USVI, absolutely beautiful cruising grounds. Obviously, we have the airport on St. Thomas, so it's a really, really useful area to fly in and be able to meet your boat and go straight out sailing. There's a huge amount of boats there. The waters are very protected. So if you're worried about, going out to the wild ocean, it's not really like that. You can just be around the corner of different bays and being sheltered every single night in different anchorages. In the Caribbean, our pricing is all inclusive. So once you see your charter price, that's you. And the only thing on top of that to consider is gratuity. So this is just a look at how close everything is together and all the different bays and anchorages that you have available there. I think we've probably already covered that, Kay. So like I said, we have the airport on St. Thomas, so it is a great place to start from. The airport is 10 minutes from this marina, so you literally are landing and you're straight on your boat and on your vacation. Yeah, just a beautiful look at all the anchorages there. Okay, so the ingredients of a yacht charter. The yacht is obviously very important. The crew is just as important. Having been yacht crew, it really pairing your guests with the right crew is so important. And that's where we really come into this, because we know the crews inside out. The crews customize everything to whatever the client needs. So in terms of itinerary and dietary, there's a huge variety of different boats that I will talk about a little bit more. We have our power catamarans, sailing catamarans, super yachts, sailing yachts. And obviously the pricing varies between each one of those. If anybody's interested, I can talk about it in more detail after this. So why are catamarans so popular? Catamarans are so popular because they're really well known for their comfort and stability. You can see in this picture that this yacht is under sail and everybody's just having a lovely time. It's a very steady ride to your destination. Catamarans also have a huge amount of space, both inside and outside. If you compare them with the likes of a monohull, they have basically double the space. The catamaran pricing is a lot more affordable than comparing it with the likes of a super yacht. But they still have so many toys, and the crews are excellent and provide a really high level of service. So next here, you will see what a standard queen cabin on a catamaran looks like. This is a 62-foot catamaran. The days of dark cabins and tiny little portholes are gone. This is a really stylish design. It is really light and airy. And the reality is you don't spend a lot of time in your cabin on a charter, but when you're coming down at the end of the day to have your shower and get ready for your night out, you're going to really, really enjoy being in this space. So speaking of beautiful spaces, look at this for a cabin. This is a 77-foot catamaran. Trish was actually just out sailing on this before Christmas, and I was very, very envious to hear that this was her cabin when she was on the boat. You can see this cabin has a balcony door feature, so it actually goes all the way down to the water level, so you can use it as a as a dock. You can swim from it. You can enjoy a nice glass of wine on it. I know what I would do. At the end of the cabin, you can see a walk-in wardrobe, a desk area. The ensuite to this cabin has his and hers sinks. So you're really getting all the amenities that you would expect, you know, in a luxury hotel room.
She's back.
I didn't realize I was missing because I was seeing and hearing everything. Susanna's breathing a huge sigh of relief, right?
She was doing fabulous.
Oh my.
She was telling us that this was your suite and you had the time of your life.
I sure did.
You can carry on from there.
All right, I'm going to keep going. Trish, I don't have access to change the slides, or one of you. Thank you.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so this is just an overview of two different catamaran layouts. So the top one is a catamaran that's been split up into queen cabins. They all are roughly around the same size, and they have their own ensuite bathrooms. The bottom catamaran is reflective of a boat that has the master suite that we just saw in the last suite. There's still room for queen cabins in there, but some queen cabins can be split up into twin beds, which is obviously really good if you are traveling, if you have a family traveling or friends traveling. Here is the saloon area on catamarans. The saloon area, for anybody that doesn't know, is essentially the living room. So the top right-hand picture is the saloon area on a 50-foot catamaran. As you can see, it's still a very generous space. You know, if people want to go in and read a book in the AC or watch a movie in the evening. As the catamarans get bigger, they just have more options inside. The top left, you can see an interior dining area, a specific bar and coffee area. But the reality is, again, not much time is spent in here, and people really tend to gravitate inside. So this is some pictures of the outside area that you can expect on a catamaran. The flybridge tends to be the favorite spot, which is the bottom right-hand side picture. The flybridge, for anybody that doesn't know, is the second story on a boat. There's also the beautiful trampoline and bow areas to relax on. The really nice thing about the catamarans is even if you're on there with, you know, 9 other guests and you've got 2 or 3 crew members moving around, there's always enough space for you to, you know, move off to the side and have a little bit of peace and quiet. So this is a power catamaran. A power cat is essentially a sailing cat, just without the sails. And just to clarify, sailboats still have engines. The power cats are just designed to go a little faster. So this is great for anybody that wants to include like a wider itinerary, you know, in terms of cruising grounds. Or if you have a client that's just really focused on going from A to B and has no interest in sailing. On to the super yachts here. So this is really the highest level of luxury at sea. The super yachts, basically, if a motor yacht is over 90 feet, it is classified as a super yacht. This is really well suited to our high-end travelers, people that really enjoy receiving silver service and really, really gourmet food and drinks. And this is our sort of classic style sailing yacht. This is great for anybody who's really, really passionate about sailing. The reality is not that many people book these anymore, but we do still have a great inventory for anybody that is interested. So choose a catamaran.
Anna, I think your papers are making...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right in the mic, I think.
Okay, can you hear okay now?
That's perfect.
Okay, great. So the catamarans really bring a strong sense of adventure to the vacation. There's lots of opportunities for the crew and the guests to interact here. You'll find quite often that, you know, captain and crew will have the guests up hoisting the sails or driving the boat. So it's definitely a more relaxed atmosphere than in comparison to the super yachts. Obviously, the price point is more accessible than the super yachts, and also the magic of putting up all the sails, turning off the engines, and just peacefully cruising to your next destination in the USVI is priceless, in my opinion. On the flip side, why choose a motor yacht over a cat? The motor yachts, like I said earlier, can cover more ground. So if you are wanting to hit more places and in a faster manner, this is a great option for you. Motor yachts go from 60 feet up to 300 feet. And, you know, on the bigger yachts, you have things like dedicated gym areas, movie areas. All of the cabins are luxury suites. Also on the motor yachts, you have more crews. So that really allows them to give a higher level of service literally around the clock. So the crews on board really are 5-star. They go above and beyond to cater to all of your guest needs. The guests really have the opportunity just to switch off and know that everything is taken care of. All of our crews are professional crew members. All of our boats have captains and chefs on board. As the boats get bigger, then we'll start adding in deckhands and stewardesses. And quite often, a lot of those crew members are wearing different hats. Like some of our deckhands are dive instructors, or the stewardesses are yoga instructors, Pilates instructors. Like this is all available to your guests when they're on board. And this slide just really reflects how much fun the crew and the guests can have together. You know, the crew are always coming up with fun themed parties or special anniversary dinners, and just in general, really getting stuck into all the fun that's on board. And you will find that your clients leave, you know, with really strong bonds and friendships with the crew members. So the food is obviously very noteworthy. The clients have the opportunity to fill out a food and beverage preference sheet, and the chef will then work from that to tailor make the menu for the duration of time that they're on the yacht. So obviously they're taking things into consideration like allergies, dietary requirements, picky eaters, you know, some basic menus for kids, and they're all, you know, really, really well trained in managing all of that.
So here I am back again. So the other ingredient of a yacht charter vacation, and by the way, there are yacht charters called bareboats. You sail yourself. That's not our company. We just do yachts that have the full cruise on board. So the itinerary is customized to what the guest wants to do. They can sail for as few as 5 nights. Once they're on board, they can really go, they're free to go where they want, when they want. You know, on a typical yacht charter, they might sail between 1 and 3 hours a day with 1 or 2 stops. And unlike a cruise ship, you know, we're always at anchor in a calm bay in the evening. So, you know, a cruise ship is going to cover a vast territory. When you're on a yacht in the USVI, you know, you'll cover 75 or 100 miles in the week, but you're getting a really deep dive into the destination. You know, a cruise ship is going to be, you know, one day St. Thomas, next day St. Martin. With us, you're spending the whole time and really savoring what it is that the USVI has to offer. And, you know, as I had said earlier, you know, the waters are fairly calm and protected. You know, seasickness is not so much of an issue for us. And these are the types of anchorages. You're not going to find us in the cruise ship anchorages. You're going to find us in those off the beaten track places where there's only other boats around, or you may be the only boat in the harbor and have the whole beach to yourself. So once we're anchored, the yachts are just very well equipped with all types of water sports equipment. The equipment on board varies according to the size of the yacht, but for the most part, you're going to have snorkeling, light fishing gear, kayaks. Some of our boats are fully equipped for scuba diving. We're going to have some adventurous things like e-foils and sea bobs. And then when you get into the super yachts, you're going to start getting into things like jet skis, maybe a water slide, things of that nature. And when you see that, a lot of people think, oh my goodness, maybe you have to be an adrenaline junkie to go on this vacation. But trust me, some people choose this vacation just because they're going to want to chill out in Lyme. Lime is Kay. I'm sure you know this word. Well, I just love this word, but it's a West Indian phrase, and it means chill, just doing nothing. And
Actually, we say lime in. Go lime in.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I be lineman. So all of the yachts have tenders. You see the ones on the right there. Those are what you'd see typically on a catamaran. The ones on the left are what you'd see on a super yacht. And that's always available to take people to and from shore for whatever it is they want to do. Now, typically the captain's going to arrange the itinerary so that everything is within walking distance. If they're wanting to go to do a hike to the sugar mill plantation, well, he's going to anchor right in that bay. So there's no need for taxis or things of that nature to get people around. It's a very self-contained vacation without lots of decisions for people to make. And so something that's really key to keep in mind is that due to international regulations, our maximum capacity is 12 guests. Most catamarans take anywhere from 6 to 8 guests, 6 to 10 guests rather. We have very few catamarans that can take 12 guests, but with the super yachts, we have numerous ones that do. So you might ask, well, what happens if I have more than 12 people? Well, in that instance, we do what's known as a tandem yacht charter, which is you would get 2 or more yachts that would sail together as a group. We've done numerous tandem charters with 4 or 5 or 10 families, with each family having their own catamaran, and they keep the same itinerary, and the captains work together for them to do the similar activities. And then if any of you do corporate groups or incentive groups, that's one of our specialties. We've had as many as 35 catamarans sailing together with 250 people. We just did one when Susanna used to be crew. A mere year and a half ago, we did like a Toyota group where each dealer won his own catamaran for the week. And we had like 14 cats sailing together. So price, I know you have a lot of questions about price. We're probably comparable for, a high-end luxury traveler. Our all-inclusive rates begin at $450 per person per day. And if you have, and that's based on 6 guests. So if you have 4 guests, then I'd bump that up to around $650 per person per day. The average catamaran cost for a luxury traveler, somebody who's going, like usually we might go to the Ritz or a nice all-inclusive, you're probably going to spend around $600 to $800 per person per day. And then with super yachts, that can be anywhere from $1,000 to $15,000 per person per day. So what does that all include? It's all of their meals, 3 meals a day, all of their snacks, and an open bar, and it's an open premium bar. As Susanna said earlier, they tell us in advance how they want the bar stocked, and we do that accordingly. All of the cruising taxes and port fees are included. The additional cost, and I saw the question about this in the chat, is, of course, your airfare and ground transfers, and then crew gratuity is 15 to 20%. On top of the charter cost. So I don't want to confuse you, but we do have a second rate structure, which is called plus expenses. And this is more common on super yachts or sailing yachts over 100 feet. And that's a rate structure where it just includes the hire of the yacht and the crew, and everything else is additional, the fuel, the dockage. It's a la carte. And one of the reasons it's done that way is in that kind of price point, we find people want different kinds of things, and it's more cost effective for them to price it in that way. And that adds generally like 30 to 35% of the cost. So commission, I know everybody wants to know about commission. How we work as charter brokers is that the yacht owner pays us commission, and we split that commission with you. So that the share of that is going to be between 7.5 to 10%. Now, we know that you're going to get much higher commissions with the cruise ships and some of the hotels. So I would just remind you that on our all-inclusive product, you're getting commission on not just the cost of the yacht, but also on the bar. You're getting commission on the port taxes. Our average travel advisor commission in 2022 was $4,950. So when I say what's in it for you, other than the commission, I think what you'll find is you'll get a really big repeat and referral business. I mean, it's one of those things because it's new for people, they're not sure what to expect. And then it always surpasses their expectations. And so we have people that just do this year after year after year and tell their friends about it. They may come back the next year and do a tandem charter with their friends. So I did want to give you a short comparison of the Moorings versus Ocean Getaways, because I think the Moorings is kind of the name brand in the industry. It's the one company that people have heard of. And I'm not saying one is better and one is worse. We're just very, very different. The Moorings is primarily a bareboat company. And so they have a limited number of crewed yachts, maybe 5 in the USVI. And whereas we have access to over 500 different yachts available there. For them, they have, they max out at 58 feet and they have one level of luxury. For us, we can go as large as 300 feet and we have multiple levels of luxury. I think in terms of service, there is more of a call center. For us, you call us, you're going to get one of us. Someone who's been there, done that, knows it inside out, and is really willing to put the time in to help you become, an expert in what you're presenting to your clients. I don't know what the Moorings does, but for us, client protection is key. So your client is your client is your client. We never market to them directly. If your client were ever to contact us directly, then we would immediately refer them back to you. So just an idea of, okay, so what kinds of clients are travel advisors booking? We are the preferred yacht charter supplier for a number of different consortiums. So, and we do a lot of business with travel advisors. A lot of family charters, whether it's, the nuclear family, 4 or 6 people, or multi-generation family things. In fact, just this week, we're working on 260th. Can you imagine that? Married 60 years, 260th wedding anniversary charters with the grandparents, the parents, and the kids. We're doing a number of birthday milestone celebrations. We do scuba charters. As I said earlier, tandem charters. And we're finding agents are spending anywhere from $18,000 up to $250,000 for a week's charter with us this past year. So one thing to keep in mind is 90% of the people who book with us have never been on a yacht before. It's their first time experience. And I know we're getting kind of short on time here, so you can just I'll leave this screen up, but I think there's a lot of advantages of a yacht over a resort. I like to say it's a total immersion experience. It's not just a destination. You're really totally immersed in this whole experience where you're catered to and pampered, and you really get to see some places in the USVI that you'd never see if you did a land vacation. Basically how the inquiry process works, you can go on our website, but my recommendation is pick up the phone and call us. We then send you a whole set of e-brochures that really matches what your client is looking for. We send you sample itineraries, and then we're there to hold your hand through the whole thing. If you're wanting to have us jump on a phone call with your client and be your yachting expert, we're more than happy to do that. And for us, it's just all about relationships. It's very important for us to get to know you a little bit and look at the best way to support you. So having said that, Kay, I guess I should have asked you this before. Are we answering questions just from the chat now?
If you're ready, I've been trying to catch as many as I can because they're coming in fast and furious. I'm
very aware of the time, so I think I should shut up and let them ask.
Well, if you have more, it's okay.
No, that's it. That's it.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, let's start with Miss Danielle. She's asking if you can, but you can't. Can you rent a yacht for the day? So you can do a full day charter with daily charter companies. That's not really what Trish and Susanna offer, but there are companies where you can do that for your client if they want to do a half a day or a full day sale. But this is more 7 nights. I think I saw somebody ask the minimum number of nights, so maybe you guys can get into that as well.
Typically, it's 5 nights. If it fits into the yacht schedule, they might go down to 4, but 4 would be the bare minimum. But I would say between 5 and 7 nights. Our standard is 7 nights. And the way we do our pricing, a 6-night is there's no surcharge to do 6 nights. Once you do 5 nights or less, there's a surcharge. So the 6 nights can be a sweet spot for people.
Someone was also asking about travel agent rates. Several people asked about that. So what is your policy there?
Yeah, we work on commission. We don't own these boats. I should have said that earlier. We represent private owners. So we work on commission. So the best we can do is to give you your commission off as a travel agent, right?
Okay. Any dogs allowed on yachts?
It varies. And I mean, that's a good thing in the USVI is that you can bring your dog and not have to go through a lot of hoops with it. It would really be up to the each individual yacht owner, whether they would allow a dog or not.
Ms. Cheryl is asking, are there any charters that would just be for 2 guests, maybe husband and wife only?
Yes, there are. Most of our catamarans and super yachts are going to have a minimum of 3 cabins, but we do have 2-person rates if it were just to be 2 people aboard. Susanna just booked a 48-foot cat. It was 2 people, and they spent, I believe, around $18,000 for the week.
I know we answered about the minimum number of nights, but what about the minimum number as it pertains to Christmas and New Year's?
Oh, good question. 7 nights. And it's, that's the only time of the year. We can begin and end on any day of the week. We don't have to be Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday. The only time that we have specific dates that you have to book are Christmas and New Year's, because the boats like to get 2 charters at that time. So a Christmas charter would probably be December 19 to 26 or 20 to 27. And a New Year's charter would be December 27 or 28 for a week.
A question I've seen come up several times is about tipping. I know Susanna did mention it in the chat, but perhaps just to share with the group on the customary tipping.
Susanna, you want to go for that?
Yeah, so the tipping is based on the charter price, and the standard is 15 to 20%, obviously at your discretion, at the client's discretion.
Now, I know on your site you do offer some comparison between the ships, but we did have a couple of questions pop up about the price difference between the ships. I don't know if there's a basic something that accounts for difference in pricing, or how you may want to talk on that.
Yeah, I'm going to send out a handout after this is over with, and it'll just kind of show you, okay, if it's a 45-foot cat, this is what it's likely to cost. If it's a 50-foot cat, this is what it's likely to cost. Basically, as the yachts get larger, they get more luxurious. They have more crew. They have more veteran crew. Maybe if you're on like a 60 to 70-foot cat, the fun is the same on all of them, but as the price increases or as the yachts get larger, you're just going to have a higher level of service, probably a higher level of cuisine, and maybe more toys. But I think if I'll send out a handout that I think will help people understand that difference.
Can we talk a little bit about ADA, how ADA friendly these vacation experiences might be?
Unfortunately, they're not. I have a few super yachts, because they're more able to, a boat would have to be built in a particular way. And of course, there's no guidelines that they have to do that. We have some super yachts that are wheelchair accessible, and that have elevators aboard and have, modified cabin sizes. But when you're looking at the catamaran product, it's really not wheelchair accessible, because just of the stairs that you have to negotiate.
I've had several people ask me about Carnival, so let me talk about Carnival just a little bit, and I'll put up my slides here on Carnival, just in case you didn't get to see it. So basically, there are no tickets for Carnival. It is a free event. Come one, come all. So what you're basically getting an opportunity to do when you're talking about a fully culturally immersive experience is really experience Carnival from a local's perspective. So if you want to be in the parade and be dressed like this young lady photoed here, you can contact our office and we can put you in touch with multiple Carnival troops, and you can look and check out pricing and all that good stuff. But you can dress up, you can be in the parade, you can go to Juve, which is our all-night street party, and you can come down the waterfront and party and drink and have fun and just let your hair down. There's no charge to participate in that. We also have something called the Village, or as we often say, the Village. You can go. There's not free food. There's food, there's drinks. Of course, you have to pay for those, but entrance into the village is free. There's also musical performances as well. So big concerts. So we had some really big name soca artists and calypso artists come down and entertain the crowds and all of that good stuff. So it's a fun party. You'll get to see a whole lot of culture just right in front of you. There is no fee to participate in the village, but if you want to be in a Carnival troupe, then yes, you pay a fee and you get your costume and you just let it all hang out. So that's basically how Carnival works. And we also have a Carnival on St. John. It's the 4th of July festival that happens during the 4th of July. And then St. Croix has their Crucian Christmas festival as well. So that's how it works. So again, if you could certainly book yourself a 7-night or a 5-night charter. You can anchor there in Charlotte Amalia, and after you finish Juve, get back on your boat and just pop your feet up and enjoy the rest of your day. Same thing with the village, because it's right there. So you can enjoy the music from the comfort of your yacht, if that's what you choose to do. So, you have options. A lot of you guys asked for the links to be shown again. So I put them up there so you can see them there. And then ladies, I think maybe just for one more time, if you want to put your emails in the chat box, because I know you've done it and I know you put your website, but since so many people were asking and this feeds so quickly, everybody maybe didn't get a chance to see it. Miss Ala is asking about FAMs for 2023. Yes, we will more than likely be doing a FAM in 2023. The way that you get selected to be on a FAM is you first have to become a specialist. So make sure you go to USVirginIslandsSpecialist.com and take any one of those courses so we can get you in our database. So if you'd like to join me on a FAM and you want me to take you by the hand and take you all around, make sure you become a specialist. And then when we have the application process go out, you'll be able to get on top of that and be a part of that opportunity. Here's a question that I've gotten a couple times, and I don't know, Trish and Susanna, if you would be able to answer it. I think I know the answer, but I don't want to give the wrong answer. Renting a boat on the island, do you need a boating license from the state you're from, or do you have to obtain one on island?
No, you don't need a license. That's like if you want to do it for the day or something like that. It's just whoever's renting to you is going to ask you for your experience.
Okay, very good. I thought that was the answer, but I didn't want to.
Yeah. I saw another question here, which is, when do our charters begin and end? They're noon to noon. So you board at noon, and you can board anytime after that, but then you have to be off at noon. They asking, some of the yachts do offer what's known as a sleep aboard, that you pay a discounted amount and you arrive after 4 p.m. You have dinner ashore, cocktails on the boat. and then you set sail the next day at noontime. So it saves you from having a hotel. But if guests are coming from the East Coast, those flights usually get in there 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I mean, half hour later, you're at the marina and you can set sail that day. Yeah, maybe you've missed a couple of hours, but it's just like checking into a hotel on the later side.
Very nice. Very nice. Miss Laura is asking about 5-star resorts in St. John. So, Miss Laura, if you're looking for luxury on St. John, your best bet would be to look into some of our villa product on St. John. And I oftentimes recommend either Villas of Distinction or Wimco Villas to travel agents who are looking to do villa rentals. But right now, we don't, with the closing of Keneal, we don't really have a 5-star property that we could suggest for St. John. But if you're looking for that level of experience on St. John, then it would definitely be going through a villa company to book. Okay, I'm going to scroll back down to the bottom, make sure I didn't miss anything. And if I did, I apologize, but you do have our contact information. So you can always get in touch with us anytime you have a question about anything. I think we're pretty good. So Trish and Susanna, I thank you guys so very much for your time today. Sorry for those few technical glitches.
Oh, my apologies.
we got back together, so
Yep.
It's okay. So if you guys have any questions on anything moving forward, I am going to be sending this recording out. So you will have that. And then you have my contact information here. Even if you missed Trish's and Susanna's, it will be also included with the email saying thank you for attending. So you will have their information. They are great resource guys, especially if you are new to booking this type of business. Trish has really helped me a lot in learning more about the charter yacht business and just the absolute luxury that you can experience on one of these vacations. So it is definitely on my bucket list as well. So thank you both so much. And thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you on the next webinar. Have a great day.
Thanks, Kay. Thanks, everybody. We look forward to talking with you.